Hello and welcome to Tapping Tuesday. The first thing I want to check is, can you hear me? Since that was so much of an issue last time. Now I'm hesitant. I don't want to get into like the whole explanation. So anyone could just mention in the chat, that you can hear me or not. That would be helpful for me. Yay! Thank you, Curiosity. All right, then moving on. I am Amanda. If this is your first time here, welcome. If it is not your first time, welcome back. What we do here for the next hour is EFT, which stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques, also known as tapping. So this, we're going to do a whole lot of that. I don't really go into any explanations of how and why it got created, any of the scientific backing that it has. All of that's fascinating and really great to cover, but it's just not our intention for this. So we do have hundreds of videos on our YouTube channel where you can learn all of that. You can also always email me and I can direct you to other resources. Our YouTube channel is EFT Universe. So you just put that in the search bar, will pop up. And then you have all of those videos at your fingertips. If you want to email me, my email is amanda@eftuniverse.com. Now, as far as today goes, there are a few different ways that you can participate because the intention is for you to maybe experience EFT for the first time, or just to get more comfortable with your practice, or get some new ideas of how you could approach tapping. It is a community effort because everyone in attendance kind of drives what topics that we approach. So we have our live chat going the entire hour, and I check in often and incorporate as many suggestions as I can throughout the hour. And I also offer you ways to tap on something if what I choose for us to tap on isn't necessarily directly relatable to you. If you have something that's just too personal, you don't feel comfortable putting it out on the internet, but you would like to know how to tap on it, you can always email that to me as well. And I will bring it up at the following tap anonymously. These are always recorded. We do have a playlist on our channel, and you can find that under playlist. It says Tapping Tuesdays, and there's a whole lot in there. I think I covered all of it. Oh, when I tap. So there are, if you don't know how to tap, you can just follow along with me. You'll get it down by the end. It's a pretty simple outward process. The intricacies are a little bit more nuanced, which is why I love that you're here to do it with me. And there are multiple spots, and I don't always tap through all of the spots. So if you're wondering why I'm staying in one spot, like I stay here a lot, it's because I don't want you putting so much focus on me. What I don't want is for you to be really tuning into something and then going, oh no, I didn't move. Oh shoot, I missed a spot. She's down here already. That's going to go against what I'm hoping for you to experience today. So you are free to tap through the spots as it feels good for you. Also, the language that I use, please switch any words that are more empowering, more true for your experience. I'm here to be more of a guide, a support, like a coach for you, than like, this is exactly how you have to do it. There are some things that are pretty like black and white. If you don't do it this way, then you may not get the results you're looking for. But there's also a lot of personalized creativity, because what we're doing is connecting your brain to your brain, your subconscious to your conscious. So it is very personalized. And I want you to feel confident in trying that out. Some things may not work as well as other things, but you won't know until you try it. So, all right. With that, I do not have any emails from our community as far as like something to tap on to share today. So we'll go along with everything in our live chat. And you can put that in at any point. And also no pressure. Like I can always come up with topics. If you're sweating it out and like, oh, I've got to think of something. It's never that. Okay, I'm going to say hi. Well, hi, JD. I'm so glad that you're here. Selling and moving is such a big deal. So I'm glad that you're here to kind of get the yummy brain benefits that we'll do today. Hi, Tanya. Shanna, hello. Hi, Mary. And thank you for also letting me know you can hear me. Hi, Samantha. Zarina, hello. Zahura, hello. Hello, Al, all the way from the UK. Hello, beautiful Kylie. I'm so glad you're here. Hi, Cindy. And I still have like the external screen. So that's when I'm looking away, I'm actually looking at you, just so you know. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Christina. Hi, Tanya. Oh, hi, lovely Tanya. Okay, if you give me a word, I'm going to give that word back to you, just so you know. Zarina, emotional sensitivity. Okay. In what way? Like, do you feel like you're too emotional? Do you feel like you wish you were more sensitive emotionally? Do you feel like your emotional sensitivity is a weakness? Like it's something like, man, I really wish I could toughen up or just not show so much emotion. And that's coming from, I'm a crier, which by that I mean almost any emotion that I feel, like I cry. Which can be really frustrating, especially with like anger. You know, if you're trying to like stand up for yourself, but then you're crying, it can feel like, man, I'm exhibiting so much weakness right now. So that sort of a thing. Like, what is it about emotional sensitivity? Oh, Marie, thank you for that. Tapping for people who lost everything due to the hurricane. Yeah, there's some heavy things that have happened in the very few recent days. Even this morning. JD, fear of being seen on social media. Okay. Thank you for that. Yeah. What is the difference to you? And if I ask you a question and you're like, I don't know the answer, or you don't feel comfortable putting it out there, you don't have to. It just helps me know what words to maybe offer to you when we tap on it. So being seen, I think, is a very common, very relatable fear. And but I am curious about like what specifically about social media. Does it feel more intimate? Does it feel more like vulnerable to like people being judgmental or mean? Yeah, what is it about it? Christina, anxiety, stress, overwhelm on getting taxes and finances project done. Oof, yeah. Okay, Dr. Scott, hello. Anne, hi. You're so welcome. I'm happy to be here. Please focus on inner peace and calm. Feel God's direction in my life with all aspects of my life. A grateful heart every day. What a beautiful sentiment. I appreciate that. And sometimes that's really easy. Sometimes that is really, really hard. And even if you start off in a good space and then you have like the worst day ever, then it can feel almost like a betrayal, right? If it's like, but I set this beautiful intention and then like I got hit all day long and what happened and why did that happen? And so I really appreciate that because the root of like holding space for that regardless is it's way more complicated than it sounds, right? Serena, my emotions are a roller coaster lately, unpredictable. Yes, hurricane people. Okay, so much loss and suffering. Dr. Scott, some kidney related health issues, having a hard time coping as I research what can be done. Thank you for that. Yeah. I think feeling overwhelmed by how to have empowerment, self-empowerment for medical stuff is very relatable. I know a lot of people just in my small social circles, who are getting late diagnoses of things. And it's really complex to advocate for things that it's hard to get information on, and then figuring out like, well, but is this real information? Like, is it going to work for me? Is it going to hurt me if I try this and it's not accurate? So I appreciate that suggestion. Zahara, communication and missing social cues. Okay. Overcoming jealousy. That's I appreciate that. And I'm chuckling, not in a mean way, but I love that you're bringing up jealousy, because I feel like that's an emotion that is harder to talk about. And sometimes it's even harder to identify. Yeah, I'm talking a whole lot about your suggestions. We're like just having this great conversation, but I do want to get to tapping. So I'm gonna stop talking so much myself. Okay, and JD, about my healing journey and judgment. Okay, so sharing that on the fear of sharing that on social media. Zahara, overcoming jealousy by a person spreads it. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of you who have already started this conversation. This feels like, I already feel like we're connected. Like we haven't even grounded yet, and it just feels like we're already in this like great conversation. And thank you so much for that. I really treasure this community, and I really treasure your input and your being here. It really is such a beautiful thing to be able to show up and say, hey, how about this? Can we talk about this? Do we have a shared experience with this? So thank you. All right, let's go ahead and get grounded. So allow your body to shift. Sometimes I move my body even if I'm not feeling an immediate like need to move, just so it has a chance to talk to me. And let's go ahead and take a breath and let that out. And let your body just kind of sag, like fall to the side. Let your head droop. Close your eyes if you want to. Let's take another breath and let that out. Just really giving our body the chance to send a signal to our brain of, yeah, we're relaxing right now. This is a good time, a safe time to just step into a calmer state. And for grounding today, I'm going to go from a more emotion-based place. So let's place our hands over our heart. Go ahead and close your eyes if that feels comfortable. If not, just rest your eyes on in one spot. And as you have your hands over your heart, just breathe and really try to feel your heartbeat. See if you can feel that beat of your heart into your hand. And as you feel into your heart, think about this organ that you have that's doing this beautiful thing for you right now, that's pumping your blood all the way through your arms and your legs, all the way through your core, down to your fingertips, down to your toes. Remember to breathe. And notice as you're breathing, think about how this air is coming into these beautiful lungs that you have. And as it comes in, your body's really taking in this air, and then the air is being distributed all through your tissues and organs, all through your arms, your legs, through your core, out to your muscles, your tendons. What beautiful systems exist inside of this body that is you. How alive and alert things are in there, that they're continuing through all of these processes. That you have this ability to place your hands over your heart and feel that feedback. Feel your chest moving, acknowledging your heartbeat, that you have the ability to think about that your nervous system, all of the things that are happening in your brain, all of these beautiful modes of communication and connection that's happening just within this body. And as you're here, focusing on this body, allow yourself to notice where your emotions sit within this body. And be curious just where these emotions sit and how they are connected to this heart and these lungs and this brain and how all of these processes that are happening, how these emotions are interacting with that. And we're just noticing, we're not judging. That's why I'm using very neutral terms. Whether it's a response that you're looking to have or looking to release, we're just noticing how everything is connected within us. And let's take a breath. Let that out. And if your eyes have been closed, go ahead and open your eyes. I'm going to set an intention really quickly, and then we'll get right into the tapping. It is my intention that as we are gathered together right now, that even though we are across the world and we are our own bodies and our own people having our own life experiences, we are also a community, and we are showing up, and we're showing up to connect, and we're showing up to feel and to have, and that there's real power in that, and the connection has real power, and that as we choose into that, it grows, and that is powerful and valuable, and it is because you are here that it is powerful and vulnerable. And it is my intention that through that, you get to feel better today. You get to feel more confident, more at peace, more seen, more validated, more at ease. Okay, let's take one more breath. Okay, woo, that felt nice. Alrighty, let's see. Oh, thank you, Zarina. Okay, and RTX, hello. Looking inward for direction and listening to your inner world, inner truth, and awareness. Thank you for that. I feel like we really have a strong vibe of kind of a theme of really like inwards. Even in the connecting for thinking about people who are in really dire circumstances right now, it's an effort of connecting with them and offering to them something that they may be having trouble finding on their own right now. So let's start out with that. Let's start out with, let's see. I'm bouncing around like permission to connect with like my biggest self. Is it like believing in my biggest self? Just something that because I want to offer you language that is like a ground, like a good starting point. I'm going to go with feeling safe. We're going to start with feeling safe. So I give myself permission to feel safety in my biggest self, in my greatest potential. That's what I'm going to use. I give myself permission to feel safety within my greatest potential. Okay, that's a lot, but we're going for it. Okay, let's start tapping. As I begin to tap, I am choosing right now to offer myself permission to feel safe, to feel safety within my greatest self. I give myself permission to discover how safe it is to be all that I can be. I give myself permission to find ease and comfort and energy in embodying my highest and greatest self. And while it may be true that I have been taught things that make this feel difficult, right now I choose to hold space to believe that it's possible anyway. That it's possible for me to allow it, and that that's enough for it to happen. And maybe it's an immediate, huge transformation, and it feels like something out of a superhero or anime film. Or maybe it's a slow gradient that pours into me throughout the next hour or the next day. But at whatever speed I allow this to happen, I allow this to happen. I give myself permission to be me. I wonder, why do I need permission? What is this permission? I am me. Like I can't really be other than me. I physically am myself. Maybe I have been told directly or indirectly that I should not be me. That I should try really, really hard to not be me. Because whoever I was wrong, was offensive, was too much, was too little. Even if there are times where I have received this feedback from somebody or multiple people, and I have received it as truth, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though it hurts, it's okay that I made that choice. I did the best I knew how, and I trusted that voice. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know how else to look at it. I did my best. And maybe in that circumstance, it was the best that existed. Maybe if I could go back and redo it with only the tools I had at the time, I would see that and I would say, oh, no, that was the best I could do with that. And so I forgive myself for any thoughts, judgments, barriers, any meanness, any cruelty, any negativity that I have given myself in order to try to not be me. And as I forgive myself, I deeply and completely accept myself. And it's okay if that takes a while. It's okay if there are things that I need to grieve, if there are things I need to work through. That's okay. But I wonder, does that mean I have to wait? Does it mean I still can't be fully myself? No, I don't need to wait, because I do have different tools now. I have a different understanding. But what I don't have is any experience. I don't know how to be myself. I don't know how to be my highest, greatest self. I know I want to be. Oh, I feel it. I feel it so much. But it's scary because I've not done it before. And I'm worried I'm going to do it wrong. Even if I'm worried I'm going to do it wrong in being myself, I deeply and completely accept myself. I wonder, what if it's not so much that I haven't been me, because again, I am me, but I've chosen to be a smaller me, a quieter me, a more mild me. It was still all me, even if it hasn't felt like where I wanted to necessarily put all of my energy. It was still my energy. So what if, instead of seeing it as this big, huge shift and undertaking of, I have to get this right because I've been getting it wrong for so long, what if I just ask myself, what's my preference? Because I get to be me. What do I prefer today? And maybe I prefer different things on different days, around different people, at different events or times. And that's okay, because I'm dynamic. I can be a lot of things. I already know that. But I really want to be this thing. I really want to be this version of myself. How do I be this version that I want so badly? Well, I wonder, how did I become versions that I didn't want? Because if there's a pattern that I could apply to what I do want, that could be helpful because I know it works, and I'll just apply it in the outcome that I do want. Well, maybe I had support. I had support in becoming that other version. I was surrounded by people who let me know what energy or thoughts or actions were appropriate and acceptable to them. And they made those things comfortable. Okay? Maybe it was how I viewed myself, how I talked to myself, how I looked to gain favor or feel safe. Okay, so looking for people who could support my biggest self. Oh, they don't exist. Oh, there's nobody who can support that. It's too much. It's too big. It's too lofty. I'm only going to get criticized. It's going to be too risky. Even if, as I consider who might consider loving me, accepting me, following me, hearing me as my biggest and brightest self, I've got some pushback on that. I still choose to be open and finding ways to support this pathway. And I may have some immediate thoughts, and I may not be entirely certain. But I found a way to live as this other version of myself, to be familiar with this other version of myself. And I was successful. So I bet if I allow myself permission to get to know this part of me that I really want to be, and trust that part of me, and talk to that part of me, and be curious about that part of me, I can begin to build up trust and confidence and understanding of what supports could help that part of me feel really good about growing. Because maybe it isn't about proving to anyone else about what worth this bigger and brightest self of me that exists. Maybe it's simply about me knowing how to support that. Permission. Permission to be my biggest, brightest self. Permission to feel safe being my biggest and brightest self. And I may get things right away, and I may fumble a lot. But I'm not going anywhere because I'm always me. And it's okay if this is an exploration. And as I give myself permission to explore and find ways to feel safe in becoming my biggest and brightest self, I deeply and completely accept myself. Pause and take a breath. Now take just a moment and think back at how you felt when we first started that tap and compare that to how you're feeling now. Did you yawn? Did you sigh? Did you smile? Do you feel more expanded inside? Do you feel more relaxed? Do you feel more positive? Does it feel more quiet in your mind? Did you have any aha moments? Those are signs that your subconscious brain said, oh, yeah, I like this new train of thought. Let's start building neurons around that. And it will continue to support that, even if you're not thinking about it all the time. So good job. I just want to throw in another caveat. When I tap with people on this, a lot of times there's pressure on a switch such as this to be perfect, to be above criticism. And that's darn near impossible. I won't say impossible, because I have a whole theory on like, well, perfect is possible, but is it really worth it? Because it takes so much, and it's very fleeting. So finding different values, really clarifying values as you're allowing yourself to learn this part of you and finding safety in it. So that you're not defaulting to it needing to be perfect. What are you needing it to be? Do you need it to be fun? Do you need it to be acceptable? Do you need it to feel peaceful? Find something to attach it to so that you're aware of what that bar is. Okay. I'm going to check in the chat. Okay, probably is a time where the episode back out, perimenopause, hot flashes, another bladder infection. Oh, Darcy, I'm so sorry. Oh, and yay, feeling more at ease and light. Yay, more relaxed. Yay, yay, yay. I want to accept the darker parts of me, the loud, obnoxious, the brooding, the angry, all the parts live in the shadows too. I love that. I'm just going to say this real fast. I avoid calling those dark shadow because of the negative connotation it puts on it. And because it's like, well, even though I'm faulted, even though, there are these parts of me that are negative, that are kind of gross or unacceptable, I still love them. Because when you're expressing love to someone, that's not how we say it, right? Like I would never say to one of my loved ones, you're so flawed and you're so terrible in this way, but I still love you, because that doesn't feel good. So rather than calling them those heavier, darker parts, I started developing this line of thought at a hair appointment. There was a hairstylist who was just talking about how she loves drama. And I'd never heard somebody like claim that before. Everybody was like, oh, I'm above, gossip and talking about people. She was like, oh my gosh, I love the drama. And it just, the way she said it, I wasn't even like, oh, you're one of those gross people. Like, I don't want your energy. It was positive energy. And she was just like, no, I love the gossip, love the drama. Like, I'm here for it. Not going to tell her my secrets, but she was able to fully embrace that part of herself. So being able to say, I'm an emotional being, and that means I love this huge amount, but I also get so disappointed, and finding a way to say it without tagging it as those things. And I know that's a super popular way to approach it, and it's okay if that resonates for you, because there are multiple steps to everything. And if something ends up feeling better, you can replace it with that. I just wanted to offer that. Okay, I'm going to stop there. I'm talking so much. Yeah, Dr. Scott, exactly. Oh, your sister basically tells you that. Okay, well, that's something else. That usually, and I would guess too, Zarina, that you feel like you need to shrink maybe around her. And I'm sorry if I'm saying things and you're like, nope, it's not that at all. You have to be careful around who you are, because like the bigger, the brighter you are, the more like that just really seems to crash down on you from her. A lot of times that's someone who doesn't feel right in themselves. They don't have self-love. They've got a lot of self-judgment. Things are complicated in here. And so it's really hard for them to connect with anybody, especially who has flaws, and especially someone who has flaws and still loves themselves. They can't reach that. They can't connect with that because there's so much turmoil in themselves. And they're like, how dare you love yourself when you're not perfect? Because they're just eating themselves alive on the inside because they don't have that self-love. And it is really hard energy to come up against, and it does affect you. And I don't think there is a place where, even if you love yourself and you love your hard parts of you, where you're not affected by someone pointing that out. It's loving bits about yourself doesn't mean that they're always easy and connective and wonderful. It just means that even though you continue to have feelings about parts of yourself, you're still able to say, but my gosh, I still love you completely. And I'm here for you. And I still want you to feel better, even if right now you are so grouchy and you're really hard to be with. That animosity just isn't there. So she wants to shrink me. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Let's get back to tappy tap because I'm so chatty. I'm so chatty with you today. Let's see. Just going back through. Okay, so I know there's a lot for physical body issues, and for the people who are going through like the hurricane and other world concerns right now. And we don't have a lot of time, and I really want to do both of those. I'm going to set more of like a tapping quick intention for the people who we're sending love to. Because I don't feel like I can quite do it justice in a few minutes, but we can definitely start it. So maybe this is something that can help you as well if you're like, well, I want to help so much, but I don't have time to sit down and do a 3-hour meditation. This is a way that you could always, and energy doesn't take long, it's reactive. So if you can hone in on your intention, it is possible to be effective in a short amount of time. So I'm going to start tapping here. We're going to focus in on people who are going through really big struggles right now, like everyone going through the hurricane. As I begin to tap and choose to focus outside of myself, I allow my energy, my compassion, my love, my strength to become a beacon, that it may shine outwards from whatever place I feel is most powerful from me, and that it reach and touch someone who is asking, someone who is pleading, someone who right now is going through things that I don't understand because I haven't been there. And even though it may be something that I haven't yet experienced, I can offer a powerful amount of love and compassion. I can offer my peace. I can offer my presence so that they don't feel alone. And whether they're asking in prayer, whether they're asking in a quiet thought, whether they're asking simply by expressing their sadness, their grief, their overwhelm, I answer. And I trust that this love knows where to go. Even if I don't have a specific person in mind, that it does matter for me to have this intention. And my energy does move, and it does connect. And therefore, I send this intention. I send this energy, and I offer it. I offer my love. I offer my compassion. I offer my presence, that they may feel the presence of another person who cares. that they may receive what they need to have clarity of thought, what they need to keep going. I have an abundance in this moment of safety. I have an abundance of care. And I offer all that I can give to those who are asking and open to receiving. And while I may never know consciously, mentally, logically, where this has gone, how it has helped, I choose to trust and I choose to believe that this matters, that my give matters. And I set the intention for this give to continue. That even though I am about to shift my train of thought, that I leave a channel open where I offer my love, my give to those who are asking to feel that someone cares, because I do. To feel that they can get through it. I offer that connection. And as I continue to offer, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, stop tapping and take a breath. And that's a harder one to check into. If you are an empath, someone who connects very easily to other people's energy, just be aware if you're going throughout the day and you're feeling overwhelmed, if you feel like crying, if you're feeling exhausted, you may need to close that channel, and allow it to rest a little bit. Because I, for one, am someone who very much believes that that's possible, and it's not always your energy that you're feeling when you do reach out and connect with others. So just be aware of that. Okay. Alrighty, let's tap a little bit on physical. I'm looking at the chat trying to read and talk, and it's not working. let's tap a little bit on the physical body. I'm going to read these last few comments, and then we'll get into that. Okay. Maybe next tap we'll do more on this Friday. This Friday I'll make that the topic of my video of being your biggest and brightest self, because it can be a complicated topic, but there are ways to really simplify it that are very helpful. So I'll do that because I feel like there's a lot of desire to keep talking about that. We don't have a lot of time, so I'll do that. Look for that on Friday. Okay, moving into physical body. So we've had multiple community members comment today about things that are complex in nature, but have very immediate signs and signals in the body of things that are happening. And some of the things we're told are inevitable. Oh, you're getting older, you've had this experience, this is the thing that's happening. Let's see. This is kind of combining in a creative way a couple of the different clinical EFT techniques. And it definitely plays on a lot of creative thought and creating a scenario that your subconscious brain can accept as a way to function. It does not mean that you're believing that that is a logical place of truth, such as there's a story of a woman who had cancer, and her process was she would go take a bath, and she did some of the cancer treatments as well. This wasn't the only thing that she did, but she had a difficult form that they were like that, her chances were complicated. But she would go take a bath, and when she was in her bath, she would tap and imagine that there were little stars in her body, and these stars were going through and like exploding like the cancer cells and just cleansing her. And the bath was some sort of like a sign to her brain of the activation of these stars. And when she started doing that, the pace at which her body was healing improved dramatically. And there's many stories like that. So if you can find a point of agreement with your subconscious brain, it doesn't have to be logical. It doesn't have to be something that you're like, yeah, this is absolutely real. It only has to be real enough for your subconscious brain to go, cool, I will start activating the real chemical process for that healing, because I see that this is what we're talking about is happening right now. Much the way of like, you can smile even when you're not happy, or laugh when you're not happy, but you legit feel better afterwards. So I wanted to just preface that with this, because there can be pushback on, but this isn't real, but I'm silly, but I'm delusional if I tap into this. What we're doing is we're giving the subconscious brain some sort of gateway that it can agree to, that isn't based on complication of actual, medical steps. Okay. All right. So with that, let's tap and let's get creative. So go ahead and focus in on what body ailment you would like to improve. And it could be something that's wrong that you want to be fixed. It could be something that is fine that you just want to improve. And it could be something that is stellar and you just want to support it. Maybe it's something that you're like, oh my gosh, I finally reached my goal weight. I'm so scared I'm going to lose it. Like, I've touched it. Now am I going to backslide? Or, man, I finally got, these muscles that I've wanted. This activity feels good. But at my age, whatever that is. I'm just going to see. Kidneys related to fear. Yes, that is Chinese medicine. I believe what Serena's talking about. That's where I know kidneys related to fear. It has to do with the water meridian. So if you want to look into that, that's where I believe that's coming from. Yeah, Chinese energy system. Yeah. Okay. All right. So whatever part of the body that you would like to approach. As I focus in right now on my physical body, and I recognize that this part of my physical body could use some support, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now, as I tune into my physical body, there's this aspect of it that isn't where I want it to be right now. I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. My physical body. This area of my physical body. I'm not quite sure what to do for this part of my physical body. I wonder, is it possible that it can be fixed without me knowing? Or do I need to know everything about it? Well, I suppose it's true that it's been fine. I haven't had to know everything about it before. So maybe it can be true that I don't have to figure everything out about it right now. So if I've created a barrier in believing that I have to figure this out, I have to know things in order for this to heal, I choose right now to release that. I choose to be curious. Curious if, could this spontaneously heal? No. Like, there's no way. That is so ridiculous. I am not going to waste time on that. I would be so foolish to believe in that. Even if there is a part of me that is resistant to believing things could be easy or spontaneous or better without a lot of hard work, I still choose to hold space, to be wrong, to be surprised. Oh, how I would love to be wrong about that. Please prove me wrong. I wonder, how could that happen if it were going to happen? Would it be a light that shines in on my body? This healing light. Maybe it's ethereal. Maybe it's advanced technology from some kind and loving alien species. Maybe it's from the earth. But wherever this may come from, I choose to accept it. Maybe I simply allow myself to become aware of the fact that I have really strong builders in my body. They're so smart, and man, do they know how to work. I look at the structures that they've already created. They've done a really good job. And maybe this area of my body has been a little neglected. I'll just call the builders over, put them to work. Say, hey, come work on this area. It needs fixing. Maybe I see myself in another dimension, another timeline. And that version of me has health in this area. And of course, that version of me wants me to also be healthy. I want all versions of me to be at ease, to feel good. And maybe they tell me a secret. Maybe they offer something to me. Maybe it's something that I wear, something that I apply. Maybe maybe I use the vibration of love. I know that that's a healing vibration. And I channel love to this area of my body. And I allow that vibration to really have an effect. Vibration is real. I know we just hit time. We're almost done. Just like dropping a pebble into a pond of water or turning on a blow dryer, it really moves air. It really dries hair. I can apply a blow dryer of love, of healing energy to my body. And it will have an effect. And I give myself permission to try all of these and maybe others. And I give myself permission to truly be curious and to truly see if I feel better. And if I do feel better, I choose to acknowledge it. Because isn't it true that what matters most is that I get better? And whether or not it makes sense, whether or not it's something I fully ever explain to another person, I give myself permission to let what works work. And it's okay for me to apply logical tools as well as creative tools, because I give myself permission to get better. And as I allow myself this creativity in my journey of health, I deeply and completely accept myself. Pause and take a breath. Okay, take just a quick moment and think about how you felt about that issue, your physical issue, before we started tapping, and how you feel about it now. I hope that you have fun with that. And it's okay if it feels a little weird, or you try it and you're like, oh, I got lost in the topic. I didn't really get anywhere with it. However it works for you is how it works for you. And it doesn't even have to be direct to that thing. It could just be, I'm putting on a blanket of calmness. I can offer more solutions for that too. But you'll have to email me and we'll talk about it more, because as chatty as I'm feeling, I've got to go. But thank you so much for joining me this week. I'm so happy to have spent this time with you. I hope that you feel better. I hope that you feel seen and loved, and that you matter, because you do. And I appreciate you. Have a wonderful week. Email me if you have questions or just want to suggest something for next week. And Friday, I will do that video on ways to support permission to be our highest and best selves. And I will see you soon. Mwah. Love ya. Take care.